volcano. I was out digging for flame petals with Rig.
Hey everyone, my name is Gregory Wilson. I am the author of the book The Third Sign, of Greyshade, and the book Icarus. A few years ago, when I was finishing up the manuscript for Icarus, my daughter here was not yet born, and she was very much on my mind. We were in a very difficult time. We had just gotten out of war. We were dealing with a recession, and there was a lot on my mind about what the world was going to be like when my daughter finally arrived. Were we going to be a place that wanted to divide people as much as possible, or bring people together in compassion and community, as I hoped? And I wrote Icarus as a story to sort of talk a little bit about what that might look like if we did come together. Icarus is the story of a young man with wings who falls into the heart of a huge volcano and the creatures that he finds there, including a 4-foot-tall, flame petal prospecting, red-skinned character known as Jelinek, kind of an Old West type. Together with his two-tailed, lava-resistant, dog-like creature, a solar called Rig, the three creatures try to make their way through Vol and discover a little bit about the mystery of why Icarus is down there in the first place. One of the big points of that book was to consider what would happen if these characters, who seem so different on the surface, can actually come together because of what they discover internally. Acela Fabio, the artist for both of these books, is incredibly talented and is very good in particular at gaining a real understanding of the emotional resonance of the piece. And one of the things that's been wonderful to see is him bringing to life what I imagined in my head in not just visual terms but emotional terms as they get rendered on the page. I hope if you have a chance to check out this Kickstarter, it will consider supporting it because of the work that he's done and because of the story that we're trying to tell together. Take a look at the pledge levels, take a look at the reward levels, and see what you can do to help support this project. I'm extremely proud of the story. I'm proud of the art that Acela has done, the wonderful script done by Keith DeCandido, and the lettering and layout done by Chris Suda. This team and myself hope that we've told a story for you that is going to resonate with you emotionally and stay with you long after you've closed the pages of this book. That's what I tried to do in writing the book. I hope it's what you'll be able to get from reading it as well. Thank you so much for supporting the project and spreading the word, and take care. I hope you'll like what we've put together. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome to a Tuesday stream. It is July 9th, 2019, and we are live and raring to go. As you can see, we are 60% funded. We have a little more than 3 days, actually. We have probably about 3.5 days left to be able to go. But we've made some serious progress, but we still have a lot of work to do. And so I hope that we're going to be able to do more of that today. We have some goals that we got to try to reach and some things we got to do, and I'm hoping that we can do that. And I am very, very grateful to everybody who's supported so far. What's up, Red Lair? How you doing, man? So I am really looking forward to today's stream and to having fun with all of you lovely people as we continue to push forward here. So I got a couple of announcements to make, and then we will move on to the subject of today's stream, which is going to be our rescheduled Sherlock Holmes stream. So if you've been waiting around and going, man, I can't wait until I can see another live illustration game book stream, well, you're in luck, because your time has arrived, your ship has come in, as they say. So I'm looking forward to doing that with all of you. Before I get there, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out the YouTube with the !ArvTube, the Discord with !ArvCord. Please check out our website, arvaneleron.com. Please check out as well the Twitter, !ArvTweets, and please retweet this stream, !tweet. Please do that, and I want to make sure that, don't pay attention to what he's saying, just support this instead. Yes, that's the other thing. The tweeting stuff out is really important, but especially tweeting stuff out because we're trying to make that push for the Kickstarter, which I will talk more about in just a sec. On the financial side, please make sure to check out the shop, !Arv shop, our merchandise area, the Patreon, !Arvtreon, which is sitting at $3.24. Want to try to get that back up to $3.50 and beyond. And of course, the sub button. A number of you have subbed and resubbed. We're sitting at about 66 66 subs now. So we're heading back up towards 70 again, and any support you folks can give there really does help the channel overall. But the biggest thing, of course, the thing that helps the most, as TariToons comes through with that resub, that 19-month resub bloop. Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And 19 months, wow. So there's some people on the 24 months, 23 months, 25 months. I really hope that they allow affiliates to do that 2-year badge soon, because I can't wait to roll out those other badges for folks too. Anyway, thank you so much, Terry, and thank you to all you lovely, wonderful people for supporting us. And of course, the biggest thing is what Echo just said before, and that is our Kickstarter. The Icarus Jelinek Kickstarter actually has come a long way over the last week. We made some serious progress. We are now up to 132 backers, 8,034, but we are still well shy of where we need to be. The goal, of course, is 13.5. Now, there is very good news on this front, and that is that we are 60% funded. And the general feeling is that 65% is where all of the general Kickstarter algorithms kick in. You start showing up on the almost funded pages. You start showing up on the, hey, we're close, why don't you get us the rest of the way? And all of that is stuff that Kickstarter does, and we on our end, Athos and myself, don't have to do. And so that just means it's another voice telling people, and they obviously have more reach with all of the people interested in Kickstarters than we do. So we have to get that extra 5% to give us a real shot. 48 hours out is when they actually do an email reminder automatically to all of the people following the project. And we have a number of people following the project that haven't yet backed. So that should help. But still, we need to be able to go further than that. And so what I really need to try to hit today, what we really want to try to hit today, is to get past 8,500 and hopefully get to 9K. That 9,000 mark, close to that, I think it's actually officially 8,750 is the official mark. Once we get to 8,750, what's up, JLC? Hello, Jamie. Good to see you. Once we get to just 8,750, we will at that point have gotten to the 65% mark. So I really want to get to 8,750 because if we can do that today, then that means that we will be there with 3 full days left to go. We'll be there before the 48-hour email goes out, and we will be there for the Emberwind stream on Thursday and on Friday for the big streamathon. So I really want to push that, and I want to make an appeal to everyone that if you have already pledged, thank you. Please spread the word. Let people know about it. If you've been waiting, now is the time, and make sure you do it. No, I'm not whisperly streaming. I'm being a little bit quieter because I don't want to scream. Because our dear friend who gave us a chance to do this is I don't want to shout out our eardrums. So if we can get to that 8,750 mark, that's going to make a big difference. And so if you've pledged already, thank you. If you have pledged and thought, I pledged for the soft cover, but maybe I want to try out that awesome hardcover, please consider doing that. If you've already shared it, please do so again by just, don't spam people, but let people know individually, hey, this thing is going on. Please let websites know as well. We just got picked up by a website called the Indie Toaster that actually did a feature on us today. This evening, I'm going to be doing an interview with Shane Stacks on a YouTube live stream. So we have other things that we're doing as well. But any information that you can kind of spread out about us, we would really appreciate. Please let people know, because now is the time as we're just charging in towards, doing what we need to do. So please consider doing that. And one thing I want to mention quickly as well about the rest of the week. So we've got this stream going on right now. Then I'm going to be streaming over on GOG as usual, Pathfinder Kingmaker during my Pen and Pixel stream. Then I've got that YouTube live stream. Then I will be off tomorrow. I will certainly be checking Twitter here and there, of course, and so forth, and the Kickstarter, but I will not be streaming tomorrow. On Thursday, we will have Emberwind, and I'll probably be in the air flying back home to the East Coast when Emberwind goes live. But that, of course, doesn't need me. That has John and the rest of the crew. So that'll be another stream that we'll be doing this for. And then last but certainly not least, we will have the awesome and amazing streamathon, which is going to happen on Friday. That is going to be starting at 10 a.m. Good to see you, Nonstop. And Aaron, that is going to be starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and it is going to have a group of players which will definitely include Trendane. It will include Johnny Pittman, Video Store Cowboy. Include for part of the time TariToons. It will include for part of the time Pyron Jade, and we will also have, in all likelihood, Zach Clay for part of the time too. So we will have 2 people there for the whole time, and 5 people in various combinations, and there's still a couple of other people that may join up as well. And all of us are going to be doing the Streamathon, which is going to start with us playing one system. It's going to be D&D 5th edition, and then every $500 that the Kickstarter hits, we are going to switch systems completely, and we're going to switch to entirely new systems. So for instance, we might start with D&D 5th edition, and then when the Kickstarter hits 500, we will switch over to the Warren. But the twist, for example, is that we will keep the same characters. They will just morph into a new universe. So your elf, dwarf, barbarian, or whatever, like wizard, barbarian, is now going to become 2 rabbits or something, and then it'll morph to something else. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be cool times, and I just can't wait for it. It's going to be super exciting, and that is going to be happening on Friday, and it's going to be ending at 11 p.m. Or a little bit afterwards, because the Kickstarter ends at 11 p.m. Eastern. So I can't emphasize enough, now is the time. If you've been thinking about backing, now is the time to get on board. Please do so. Please tell everybody else, because we really need everyone's help in pushing this over the next few days. As far as the D&D Infinity and Beyond, that will be happening on Saturday, Echo. We'll be doing D&D on Saturday, and I think there will be another D&D that I scheduled for later in the month, but I don't have the calendar in front of me. But that original D&D I&B on the 6th was, I think, a misschedule. I didn't have that on there. I also don't think that I've done my Patreon newsletter yet, because I've been out here and frankly things have been a little bit crazy. So all of that will be caught up on, once I actually get back out to the East Coast. I also have videos I have to upload that I'm behind on, and all of this happens when you're out west and you're dealing with different things. So that will all be taken care of next week. Yes, so that's what we've got coming up on the schedule. And I really hope that Infinity and Beyond Saturday is going to be a super happy, yay, we funded, and now let's go into the world of horror, well, you know what I mean, thing happening. So, but today we have got, of course, the awesome and exciting return of the Sherlock Holmes streams. Thanks, Big Boss. I am too. I actually think it's going to be a pretty high degree of difficulty. I don't think we've ever had something like this before. Also, my ladybug has arrived, by which I mean my son. So I am going to... Hello, my lad. So I'm going to unmute my wonderful guest and good friend, and then I'm going to head over. Let's make sure we get that Zoom window up there. Yes. And last but certainly not least, okay, that's not quite right, but it will be in a minute. Just bear with me for a second. Let's get that up there. There we go. That's working. And so now that that person is unmuted, I can say hi to TariToons. Hello, Terry. How are you?
Hello. Hi. Good.
How's life in the universe is good? I see that we've got Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith has returned.
Yeah.
And I actually need to figure out what the stats are, because I don't have the stats out here, so I've got to put those in there. So let's do that. So it's Lady Abigail Esther, exactly, TariToons. Yeah, I need to get an official. I need to get Kilobyte to do an official video intro for this sometime, and add to the mixture. Okay, so Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith. Now what I need is, for those of you who love watching these streams, I need some help in figuring out who each of these people are. So, because I need to remember what... got to see if I can maybe find a still shot or something, because I don't remember what it all looks like. Let me...
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to reload the character, like all the stats and stuff. So let's see. Arvin Eleron. I'm looking this up on YouTube to see. Arvin Eleron. And then that sound in the background is not a tea kettle, it is my son. Okay, we stream down there. Streams the conclusion. This is what we want. Okay.
No, I just remembered the thing that I wanted to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Lay it
and
on
that
me.
is completely off topic, as we do here. Because you mentioned D&D 5th 5th edition earlier. And that reminded me of Baldur's Gate 3 being announced and stuff.
Yes.
And you should like see if you can get an interview with like the peeps over there.
Already talking to them about it.
Amazing.
In fact, I may end up trying to. I may end up covering that for GOG, and so I may end up doing that. But it's going to depend because a lot of people are interested. Whoa! What? Hello, my son. Yeah, it's. I may end up covering it for them, but everyone like.
Arf, you are capping the wrong thing. I'm
what?
noticing.
No, I know I am. Right now it's all being captured because I've got to put the other windows up. So,
no, you are showing the wrong picture. That's what I'm saying.
What? Oh, I see. All right, I'll switch that up in just a second.
That's like the one, like the very first one I made for the first stream.
Okay. Well, but I'm capturing it from your window. Is that what you mean?
Wait, am I sharing the wrong window? Could that be?
Yeah, that's what I've got. Okay, let's see.
Button.
Okay, save as.
Oh yeah, so I am. This is the right one.
Oh, okay.
So
I was gonna say I was like, I'm just the messenger. Let's see of the Yorkshire.
Good thing that I checked the stream actually, because that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, that's right. Yorkshire Light Artillery. Well, at first I thought it was like all my display capture bizarreness that I have to deal with here. Okay.
No.
That is now saved because we don't have any new pence or anything like that. Okay, there we go. Still a good image. Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, both of these images are great, frankly. Okay, and actually, let me, while I'm thinking about that, let me recapture that just slightly because I want to make sure that that's there. Okay, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. That's the one. Okay. If it's a TariToons pick, it will always be good. Oh, I mean, 100%. Like,
you guys don't want to see the stuff that I drew like back in the day. Like I have drawings still that I drew when I was 11 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I think the oldest drawing I still have of mine is my god awful Hunter x Hunter OC.
Well, I mean, listen, growing pains. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good call, Aridnell, actually. I just saw that thing about the quill pen that's animated. Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, so we've got that going on. So, all right, now that we've got that back up and we have our Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith, we have got our second and final, at least for the moment, Sherlock Holmes game book, at which point we'll be switching to something else again. Possibly one of these, maybe Dark Eye. I know that Terry keeps suggesting. I just have to find my English. I have to find an English translation of that.
One.
Say again, which one?
I want to do a Forgotten Realms themed one.
And a Forgotten Realms themed. Right. So I need to find these ones. So, okay. So let's pop up these. And everyone remembers how we did this the last time. This is the same thing, but we have a little bit of a different setup in terms of the amount of money. So we've got the game book, then we've got picking a number. We already know about this. If you do not want to create your own character, what madness. All right, we've already done that. So we've got, those are the other things we needed. Well, darn it. I forgot to put that down. This is what happens when I don't put everything down. I forgot that there's more statistics than this can maintain. So hold on a second. Let me go get those last statistics again. Okay. Hold on one second, everybody, as I get those last statistics here. Okay. Let's see. So it is also stamina equals intuition. Skill equals observation. Luck equals scholarship. Gold equals communication, because everyone knows that money talks. Okay. Stamina.
Come on, Daddy.
Then we're gonna save.
Come on, Daddy.
Oh, where Daddy's doing stuff today, my boy.
Come on, Daddy.
I know, my boy. I know. Okay.
Cute.
If you have any extra breakfast you could bring in this way, my love, at some point, that'd be lovely.
Come on,
yeah.
mommy. Come on, daddy.
Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. There's that thing, and with this and this stuff. Okay, I know you think it would do something, right? But that doesn't. Careful. Don't be careful. He's like pushing my extra screen button. He's like, why is this not leading to something popping up? You know
So I
about
think
touch
the first.
screens.
Oh, I think the first drawing is done.
That's awesome. Look at that first drawing.
Yeah.
All of that. I didn't even know you were drawing that because you just had the other thing up. So I didn't even know.
No, I
Look
was. I started drawing this when we started the call.
I have more and more. I'm sort of enjoying more. Please don't push the screen. I'm enjoying more and more of these sort of like, no, stop. Please do not push over my screen. But yeah, I love these. I love the sort of confused looking at the seersucker hat looks that we've got going on. You can sit in my lap if you want. You just can't push my screen. No, instead he's doing downward facing dog today. He's in the downward facing dog position. Yeah, he is a gremlin. No, he's a good boy, and he's 3.
Come, baby.
We'll have him out of here in a second. In the meantime, I will say that the way this works is that we've got different information and clues that we need to get to try to solve the mystery. We did solve the last one, which was murder at the Diogenes Club. But for this one, we've got a different sort of situation. And it says that we have got here a few things to keep in mind. First of all, as far as money is concerned, we have a pencil. We've got paper. We've got a pocket knife. And we have got £3 and 10 shillings in cash, which I think corresponds roughly to $7,000 in America, I'm guessing. 10 shillings. Okay, so we've got £3, 10 shillings. Okay. All right. And that's what my uncle calls kids who love buttons. Oh, man. Yeah, it's you know, he's because he's used to touch screens because like, and he's just sort of like, oh, do I push this? I'm like, no, that's not a touch screen. Okay, here we go, people. Oh, we need a soundtrack. I forgot. We need music.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Programming note, we're going to be going today until, I need to make sure I don't mess up my time frames. We'll be going for about another hour and a half or so. So we will look to end at about 12:15 Eastern. I hope I've got that right. I think that's right. Because at 1 o'clock, which is 4 o'clock Eastern, I have my Pen and Pixel show. So, all right, let's see. For a soundtrack, what was one of the? I'm trying to remember what soundtracks I had. I feel like we had some people who had suggested a soundtrack. Chat, what have you got for a Sherlock Holmesy Victorian era OST?
Arcana, maybe? Arcanum?
I thought about that, and we've done that before, and that definitely could work. I will see if Chad has any suggestions. Bioshock? Oh,
I don't know if the Bioshock soundtracks are any good because I never played Bioshock, but yeah.
yeah.
I'm just thinking of genres here.
Yeah, exactly, Big Boss. All right, well let's put in Arcanum for now. I certainly love that. I love that game. So, okay. Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura. All right. Let's get past this obnoxious ad. Okay, skip ad. There we go. All right, Chad. Now let me know, how is the music relative to my voice? Too loud? Just right? What would you say? How's music sound-wise, everybody? You can dig it. Can you hear it? And is it overshooting my voice, or is it okay? It's good for you? Cool. Lovely. It's like a subtle undertone nestling your narration. Well, that's what I like. I feel like are we the Bob Ross of gamebook streamers? We're just going to put a happy little face over here. Which, of course, as you can see, is clearly not happy at the moment. Oh, man.
I swear too much, I think, to do the Bob Ross thing.
To do the Bob Ross thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
It's
sure
like lately I've been doing some of my, 2 streams on my own. And, the first thing I was like, oh, I can swear because this is not our channel.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance because I've been traveling. Otherwise, I wanted to really check that out, but... okay.
Oh, I do this, spontaneously. That nothing special. Just I feel like drawing and I guess I could stream that.
Yes. Okay, let me just make sure I get that window a little bit more clearly. In case your people at home are curious, because my window capture is not working correctly on OBS and on this version of OBS, and I don't know why, it means that I have to do everything with display capture. And thank God I've got an extra monitor, but I've only got one extra monitor. And so I have very limited real estate, especially when I've got a bunch of windows that I got to manage, which is what I have to do with this. So it's first streamer problems, right? Is that TNT lit in her mouth? We're gonna find out.
No,
yeah.
it's supposed to be a looking glass thing.
It's supposed to be a magnifying glass? Yeah.
Magnifying glass.
All right, here we go. So here we go. Recently, the London newspapers have been filled with accounts of 2 jewel thefts at country manors in the west of England. You assume that your mentor Sherlock Holmes will be asked to investigate the thefts and long for the day when you will be entrusted with such important matters. To your delight, you receive a note from your cousin, Dr. Watson, inviting you to come to 221B Baker Street, quote, as you may be able to assist in a matter referred to Holmes, end quote. On a pleasant and surprisingly dry summer day in 1890, you waste no time hurrying to their Baker Street residence. As Mrs. Hudson opens the door, she seems perturbed and distracted. You had best hurry, young man. There's a trip in the offing. I've made sandwich... Oh, sorry, young man. See, it's because it assumes gender. You had best hurry, young lady. I imagine you'd be even angrier in that circumstance. You're like, what?
No, I wouldn't be.
You had best hurry, young lady. There's a trip in the offing. I've made sandwiches, she whispers conspiratorially. You run up the stairs 2 at a time. Holmes and Watson greet you hastily. Inside the chilly, crowded room, your heart races to be so near the brilliant mind you emulate. By the bags resting by the door to their sitting room, you note that at least one of them is prepared to take a trip. Before you can press your cousin for news of the thefts and your involvement in the investigation, the detective cuts you off. Well, which of us is traveling? Holmes asks, a light of merriment in his eye. Examine the bags and see if you can tell. You study the customs markings on the luggage. So they ask you to pick a number and add your scholarship bonus. Now, scholarship is one of the things that we have a little bit of ability in. So I'm going to ask chat. I need someone to be our dice roller for the stream today. Remember, this means that you need to roll 2 6-sided dice for this, or use an online dice roller. Who would be interested in doing this? Who will I get for the? Who can we have for this sort of thing? Who's in? Who's out? Who would like to be the dice roller? I like to think that while you're waiting to figure out who the dice roller is, like literally in the game, she's just staring at Holmes like, what? I don't... Who's going to be, people? You have your big dice? Well, listen, Jamie, your big dice worked yesterday, so I think you can absolutely do that. So JLC is going to roll the big dice. Yeah, exactly. Good chance for JLC Super Dice. I agree. All right, so you're going to roll 2 dice, and we're going to add our scholarship bonus. You're going to add 1. So please roll 2 dice, plus 1, and let me know what you get.
Now the big question is, how do I trace my selections program?
9 plus 1, a 10. Outstanding. All right. You study the bags, then answer. They must be yours, Mr. Holmes. I recognize the customs marks of several countries which you have visited in the course of your investigations. Cousin John has not left England since his marriage. Very good. Holmes says quietly. Now let me tell you why I sent for you. I have been asked to investigate recent jewel thefts in Devon and Cornwall, Holmes explains. Concurrently, another gentleman has asked for my assistance in protecting a great treasure. As I am otherwise engaged, you must go in my place. Fortunately, Watson has also been invited, and you may travel with him without arousing comment. Watson will enjoy your company, as his good wife is visiting a sick friend in Sussex. What am I to do, you inquire? Is there reason to suspect another theft? I hesitate to comment without further evidence, Holmes answers, raising a long finger as he pauses to listen. A cab downstairs. That'll be Colonel Dunlop. Mrs. Hudson escorts the Colonel to Holmes' door, and the portly, middle-aged gentleman is soon seated in a comfortable chair, a glass of brandy in his hand.
Well, is this the substitute you've arranged?
The stout military man asks, nodding towards you.
She looks quite young. Also, she has a magnifying glass in her mouth.
She should fool any potential thief, then, Holmes replies, if she is willing to accept the work. Perhaps you would be so kind as to explain your needs to young Mr. Hurley. Young Mr. Hurley? The hell is Mr. Hurley? Is that supposed to be our name? No, okay. Perhaps you would be so kind as to explain your needs to young Ms. Esterhazy Smith. The Colonel frowns.
I have retired from the army, he begins, and now live at Eagle Towers near Gunston in Yorkshire. Among the units I've had the honor of commanding was the Yorkshire Light Artillery, a reserve unit with a proud history going back to Wellington's day. Every year in the summer, I invite those men who have a connection with the unit to visit my home to keep alive its tradition and glory until the day that the unit may be activated again. During that brief annual period, the greatest of the Yorkshire Light's trophies is on display at my library.
What trophy, you ask, scribbling a few notes. The Colonel takes a breath, perhaps bored.
Jeweled golden eagle, a foot high. It's priceless. For their courageous actions at the Battle of Vittoria, where they helped the Highlanders capture a French eagle, Wellington allowed the voice to hurt, allowed the Yorkshire Lights to add an eagle to the battery's honors. The officers ordered it made from gold and jewels captured from a French baggage train.
Why do you fear its theft, you ask? Have you invited suspicious guests to the reunion?
I cannot be certain, he answers, groping for the correct phrase, but these terrible incidents must give any man pause. In addition to the caution expected of anyone responsible for so valuable a treasure, it happens that my niece's fiancé, Harris, will be one of the guests this weekend.
Do you distrust him, you ask?
I do not actually distrust that piece of Harris,
the Colonel insists, looking uncomfortable.
However, he was a guest at 2 other mansions where thefts occurred, and while he seems to be well off, I cannot discern how he makes his money.
I love how he says, I don't actually distrust him, but here are all the reasons why I distrust him. Like, I mean,
there are 1 or 2 other guests whom I do not know well. I'd already invited Dr. Watson, whom I met in Afghanistan, so you will cause no undue comment as an additional guest. And I must admit, the Colonel concludes, I would just feel more comfortable if there were someone on the premises actively protecting the eagle. Mr. Holmes has recommended you as he cannot come himself. I will pay you well.
I accept the invitation, you answered once. When should we arrive?
The reunion begins tomorrow, Wednesday, the Colonel replies. Take the morning train from King's Cross Station and change at South Riding, the local line to Gunston. You should arrive in the middle of the afternoon. I must hurry to catch my own train, the Colonel adds, rising as he drains the glass of brandy. I shall see you at Eagle Towers tomorrow afternoon, what?
He nods to Holmes and Watson and leaves. After the Colonel is gone, Watson asks Holmes,
Do you think there's any basis for his fears? He presented an interesting thesis to support his suspicions of his son-in-law to be.
Holmes smiles, perhaps amused at your cousin's tortured phrase. I think you and your cousin will have a very pleasant weekend at the Colonel's expense, he says, but I may be wrong. I have a complete list of the guests, and none seems a likely jewel thief to me. But the trip will do neither of you any harm. If I finish my own investigations quickly, I will come to Gunston myself. There are documents in the town hall that I should examine to prepare my monograph on early English charters. Good hunting! In one smooth motion, Holmes picks up his bags and hurries down the stairs. He's one smooth motion, like flies out. His whistle quickly summons a hansom, and you hear him tell the cabman to take him to Paddington.
I'll pick you up at your lodgings in the morning,
Dr. Watson says as you prepare to leave. He flips open the Bradshaw to confirm his memory.
Our train leaves at 7:30, so be ready early.
Back at your quarters, you pack and try to get to sleep early, but you find yourself too excited to rest. Your mind is ablaze with villainous scenarios. The next morning dawns overcast, but you are ready and waiting when Watson comes by in a growler. Neither of you speaks of the case until you are settled into your compartment on the train a half hour later.
I shall enjoy this weekend,
Watson predicts, watching the passing of many nameless strangers in the station.
even if we have no adventures. Holmes, however, would detest such a weekend unless he has an investigation in hand. He's a Londoner to the core of his being, and has no love for any other place on earth.
Has Holmes told you anything about the other jewel thefts? You ask Watson, as the train jerks to a start and leaves the station. What kind of theft might we be asked to stop?
Oh, you know Holmes, Watson answers obliquely. He's never willing to say anything unless he's examined the scene of the crime. But I've looked through the newspaper accounts and police reports that were sent to Holmes. The Bristol and Falmouth papers carried much longer accounts than the London dailies. Would you like me to summarize my notes?
Yes, tell me what you learned, you say, settling back to listen as suburban London rushes past your window. Looking pleased, Watson pulls a bunch of papers from his pocket.
The first theft took place at a mansion owned by Lord Dodge, about 10 miles outside Plymouth. At the time of the theft, he had a house full of guests, plus servants, of course. There was a cry of fire one night after everyone had gone to bed and all fled the house.
Thank you, Thorazin. That is the Arcanum soundtrack that we got playing in the background.
The butler then found that someone had set ablaze a pile of wet straw in a back hall. It produced a good deal of smoke without doing much damage. The next morning, one of the ladies discovered that her diamond and pearl necklace, worth 10,000, was gone.
Presumably, someone set fire to the straw to produce the smoke, and then took advantage of the confusion to steal the necklace, which he must have known about, you mutter. And the other theft?
That occurred at Tristram House, near Tintagel in Cornwall, replies Watson. Again, there was a cran to do with as many as a dozen guests. They played cards very late one night with everyone participating. When they retired to their rooms, one of the ladies screamed in fear. Others rushed to a room and discovered a ladder leaning against an open window. The lady's jewel case had been forced open, and some 5,000's worth of rings and bracelets were gone. As the second theft followed the first by only a week, it created a major scandal.
It seems as if the rogue is working his way west, you comment, reviewing the facts as your cousin has stated them.
If the cad travels west from Cornwall, he'll be forced to commit the next theft on the high seas, Watson laughs. But Holmes will see through him, even though they waited so long to invite him to investigate the case.
As Watson talks further, you pause to contemplate the facts that you have learned. Pick a number and add your intuition bonus. Now, intuition is our best number, so JLC is going to roll 2 dice and we're going to add +2 to this. See if we can figure out what Watson's talking about. And while we're waiting, of course, all of you, I hope, are taking a look at that Kickstarter, the Icarus Jelinek Kickstarter with exclamation point. Whoa, 12? Was that a raw 12? Was that like a natural 12, JLC? Or was that modified? I feel like it was natural 12. So we got a 14. I feel like with that roll, like we should just rise and like light should just pour from our face and you should just be like, I don't want, you know. But anyway, so we got that right. But yes, please pledge to the Icarus Kickstarter, which is going on right now. We do need everyone's help. We've got about 3.5 days, a little more than that to go. We do feel confident that we'll be able to get there if we can hit that 65% mark. But we are still about $700 away from 65%. So we really want to try to get to that 8750 mark. So please jump on board. If you haven't already, please spread the word. Let people know, because we really do need people to help us out with Icarus and Jelinek. And in fact, I just realized that I should add to this my Icarus cover. I should do that. Give me a second, I'm going to add that quickly. There we go. Here we've got Icarus going on right there. Hey, what's up, Ballstick? Welcome in, sir. Welcome, welcome. Okay, here we go. So, 429. Let's do it. You know, Cousin John, you say softly, I somehow doubt that one thief committed both crimes. The first crime appears to be an inside job, as they say, while the second, yes, isn't it a lovely cover? While the second is more likely the work of an opportunistic burglar.
That may be,
Watson says, chuckling.
but whether there was one thief, or 2, or 10, we shall have a difficult time explaining matters to Holmes if the jeweled eagle is stolen while we are there.
Check deduction 1. Aw, yeah, chat. Check deduction 1. Alright, so we have... That's our first deduction of the book, which is good. The more of these we can get, the better. Deductions 1. Alright, on we go. Okay. As the train carries you west and beyond the furthest reaches of London, Watson pulls a book from his pocket and settles himself more comfortably in his seat. He seems to take no notice of the pleasant green countryside rolling by at a speeding glance. And let me show you the book's version. So there's Watson, sitting there with his book. Our boy Watson. What are you reading, John? You ask, curious. He shows you the cover of the book.
It is a novel, Micah Clarke, by my friend Dr. Conan Doyle. He has a gift for historical romance. This one is set in the days of Monmouth's Revolution.
He pauses, then adds,
I have 1 or 2 things you might want to read.
Your cousin offers you 2 pamphlets. One is entitled The Art of Jewel Theft, written by a man Holmes sent to Dartmoor. The other is a history of the Yorkshire Light Artillery. I know, exactly right, Erdenel. So, the question is, and this is our first chance to use ArvBot. Now, I do not have a display that I can do with ArvBot this time because, long story, I just can't. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I probably could as long as I just put it here. But I'm going to have to cover over our sheet, unfortunately, because it's just the way things go. Oops. Yeah, I can't do that. So, I'm going to have to put this right here. It's going to look a little weird. Alright, there we go. So, here we go. It's going to look a little weird, but... So, what should we do?
Well, you guys figured it out. I'm gonna go AFK for 5 minutes because I need some caffeine in my bloodstream.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, so, should we read The Art of the Jewel Theft? Should we read A History of the Yorkshire Light Artillery? And remember, the book is called The Honor of the Yorkshire Light Artillery. Or take a nap. So do we take a nap? Do we read A History of the Yorkshire Light Artillery or read The Art of the Jewel Theft? Actually, you know what? This thing did not connect. Hold on a second. Hold on just a minute. I may have to restart ArvBot because I don't think this ever actually connected. Let me see if I can connect now. Alright, hold on a second. Let me try to reload here. Okay. There we go. Now ArvBot has started. So let's try that again. What should we do? So, should we read... Read The Art of Jewel Theft. Read A History of the Yorkshire Light Artillery. Or take a nap. And remember, the name of the book is the Yorkshire Light Artillery. So take that for what it is. Okay, so here you go. Now you can actually get your votes in. So you know what to do. $vote space the number of what you'd like to do. If you want to read The Art of Jewel Theft, That's $vote space 1. If you want to read a history of the Yorkshire Light Artillery, that's $vote space 2. And if you want to take a nap, that's $vote space 3. I know, right, TNS? He's like just like this. Like, oh man.
Ahoy!
Yeah, welcome back. All right, we were just getting the votes so far. Really, chat? Really?
Wait,
So
we're
right
still
now,
on the same thing.
what's that? What's that?
You were still on the same question.
Yeah, we're on the same question because I had to restart our bot, but it's working now.
Oh,
But they chat right now is currently the winning vote over Read the Art of Jewel Theft, Read a History of the Yorkshire Light Artillery is Take a Nap. Currently, more people are voting to take a nap.
I also vote to take a nap.
I understand naps are great, but like, you know, like, eyes on the prize, people. We've got.
Well, the prize is being well rested.
Is being well rested. I mean, like, it's not like it's gonna add plus strong, like, deduction strong to us or something.
Wesley, I'd say, Arv, this is a role-playing game, right? We need to
Sure.
like play our character.
Listen, a nap may help to clear Holmes's mind. It refreshes the mind. I didn't realize that people were going to be like, oh, a nap. Immediately. You must do that. All right.
And you know, it's like refreshing to have like a question in this game, like in this series so far. That isn't like do the obvious thing or lose the game.
Right, like, I mean... All right, I will last call this. Please get your votes in now. Please get your votes in now if you want to see how this is all going to go down. Get your votes in now.
Oh, by the way, I'm having like the only righteous way of like having caffeinated drinks right now. It is chocolate cappuccino with tiny marshmallows in it.
Oh, well, that's...
So good.
Yeah.
It's like has all the same effects as coffee, but it tastes actually good instead of absolutely disgusting.
That's true. Well, even hot chocolate, even without the cappuccino part, has got some.
Yeah,
caffeine
but like I
going
need the
on.
caffeine bits.
No, I'm saying hot chocolate does have some caffeine anyway.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, a little bit, because chocolate actually has some awakening properties. I mean, not nearly as much,
That's
obviously.
just sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Not nearly as much as, of course, straight up coffee would have, or cappuccino, or espresso. I very seldom. I have iced coffee once in a while, but I don't usually have. I don't usually drink coffee. I usually drink tea, or definitely hot chocolate. So. Okay. All right, chat. You wanted to take a nap. I'll keep that in mind. All right. The results are take a nap.
I'm very proud of Chet right now.
Neither pamphlet appeals to you. As Watson buries his head in his book, you lay your head back and drift off to sleep. Why worry about the case until you can arrive at the scene? Oh yeah, that sounds promising. Why worry about the case? Why even think about it? Good job, Chet. Way to go. You awaken from a pleasant dream as the train slows and the brakes hiss and grind. Looking over at your cousin, you see Watson putting away his novel, expectantly imagining that you're actually going to do something different, as opposed to having wasted your time taking a nap. Oh man. What's up, Phoenix Lotion? You got into energy chocolate. There's this German brand that's caffeinated and made with coffee.
Oh?
Really?
What's it called? What's the name of the brand?
Yeah, what is the name of it? I
Was
assume
it
it's
just like a Milka flavor or something?
It's Achtung. Just an exclamation point. It's called Coca-Cola. Schokakola.
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. That's how you pronounce it.
Coca-Cola.
SCH is a sh sound.
So Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. It sounds like Coca-Cola.
That's very punny.
Yeah, I was gonna say like.
Yeah,
man.
we do love our puns over here.
That's good. It's one of many reasons I like the Germans. Okay. We're coming into South Riding, Watson explains, tucking away the booklets. Here we take the branch line to Gunston, eh? Nodding, you follow Watson as you step from your compartment and cross the platform in the clear, warm summer air. At a word from your cousin, a porter points to the local train loading passengers and cargo. You two just have time to climb aboard. Not a cloud in the sky, Watson muses, and ever the detective, you immediately spy one on the western horizon. You're like, there's one. The branch train's seats are hard and seem to be designed at an angle that transmits the full impact of every turn in the track directly into the sorry passenger's rump. You quickly realize that the roadbed could use attention and begin to count the minutes until you reach your destination. Conversation is impossible above the noise of the growling engine, and the intermediate stops only make the jolting worse. Finally, the pair of you reach Gunston. With a gasp of relief, Watson staggers from the carriage with you a step behind. Outside the handsome one-story brick station, a liveried servant waits with a well-polished brougham. After a word with Watson, he helps you in. The soft cushions are a delight after the train ride, and the carriage rolls so smoothly that it hardly seems to be moving. That's interesting. It's been around for 100 years, and they used to give it to war pilots. Huh, cool. I have not heard of that.
Wait, what did they give to pilots?
This Coca-Cola thing they used to give to war pilots. The fresh air and sunshine warm and heal you, and in 20 minutes the carriage enters the spacious grounds of Eagle Towers, a fine brick mansion. This music sounds good for Eagle Towers. A fine brick mansion placed at the top of a gentle hill. Groves of trees and apple orchards surround the manor. As you dismount from the brougham, the colonel steps out to greet you warmly and to lead you up to your room.
I'm delighted to see you,
he says warmly to Dr. Watson, merely nodding to you.
You, whatever. Wash and change as quickly as you can. Then join us for tea in the library, won't you? What? The other guests have arrived.
A quarter of an hour later, you descend the wide staircase beside your cousin. The library stands just to your left. You can see that it was formerly a part of a grand entrance hall. An arched doorway leads into it from the hall, and as you step through, the colonel grips your hand and leads you in. The library, get ready for this picture, chat. Just remember this every time you're like, oh, Terry's doing illustrations. Oh, that's cool. This is what you could have instead. It's Fisher-Price, my first game book drawing. I mean, we're doing well, Phoenix. We're doing this awesome game book with chat as usual, and of course we are playing. We are trying to push our Icarus Jelinek Kickstarter, which has only 3.5 days left to go, and we're trying to move things ahead with that. We really need everyone's help to kind of pledge and support and spread the word if they can. So that's what we're doing, and we're having a good time. So welcome in. Good to see you. I'll take Terry's work. Yeah, same, Erdenel, same.
You are just saying that because Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith is currently seductively flirting with everybody looking at her.
With the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure we're clear about
we already know that she's not great at, charisma things, so...
So this is the best. This is like her pin-up shot, right? This is like the calendar.
That was the idea here.
The Terry's work is awesome, I agree. The library is an elegant wood-paneled room 2 stories high. The shelves that line 3 sides rise to the ceiling. A gallery circles these shelves at the level of the upper hall, reached by a spiral stair within the library. The 4th wall, which faces the hall's entrance, shelters a grand stone fireplace with comfortable couches and chairs on either side. What's up, Shadowed Mage? How you doing, my friend? What's going on, sir? The stone mantel rises 15 feet above the floor, and on this raised shelf the golden eagle is perched like a gift from the gods. For a moment your eyes are riveted on the treasure, bright gold worked beautifully and highlighted by many gems. Then the colonel proposes to introduce you to the other guests. The first guest you meet, Captain Leaf, is a ruddy-faced, stoutly built old officer who immediately launches a tale of his adventures in Afghanistan. For a moment you fear you may not have the time to meet any of the other guests today. Happily, you are rescued by a lovely, fair-haired young woman. Oh, Uncle Alex. Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, Uncle Alex, she laughs, scolding your host. How could you start the poor souls with the captain? They might never meet the others. To your surprise, Leaf laughs at the joke and drifts off to trap someone else with his tails.
My niece, Ellen.
The Colonel says briefly, clearly worshipping the girl as she pulls you away. And this is my fiancé, Robert Harris. Oh, she says, presenting you to a lean, tanned, and well-dressed young man. Robert, these are my uncle's newest guests, Dr. John Watson of London, and his cousin, Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith. You shake hands with Harris. He has a firm, strong grip that seems to match his honest face. Okay, you ready for the eagle? They have a picture of the eagle.
Oh boy.
Here's the eagle. I mean, okay, but...
He looks concerned.
Look at the expression. He's like, rah.
Yeah.
Rah. That quality. It's just so plain. It's just like, all right, here's a drawing. Anyway.
So I guess the next drawing is me trying to overhaul that.
There you go. Like, have the eagle be like, you know, like really awesome. Or like concerned. Okay. So, chat, are we going to... The next question is... the stream is going to go for another hour, a little more than that, probably, at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. I have got the Pathfinder Kingmaker over on GOG with Pen and Pixels. Also, I wanted to ask you, Shadowed, are you... Yeah, the eagle says, I'm in a picture. Shadowed, are you still willing to do your reward of doing a custom overlay / D&D character, D&D magic item for somebody when we hit 8200? Are you willing to do that, to switch it up and make that the new one? Yes, of course. Okay, cool. So when we hit 8200, folks, and we really need to hit like 8750 today. We're really pushing for that. So if you're willing to, Shadowed being a officer and a gentleman, if we hit 8200, then we will raffle off an overlay if you were a Twitch streamer, which means you get a cool custom overlay, and or you will get, or if you don't want the Twitch overlay, you instead will get a custom magic item for D&D / for a system that you choose, because Shadowed is awesome. So we will do that at that point. Cool. Now, the question I have for you, chat, I don't need Arvbot for this, is, because it's just two choices, do you talk to Robert Harris or not? So chat, just tell me in chat, should we talk to Robert Harris or not?
Is that the fiance?
That's the fiance.
We should, what's it called?
Talk?
Asking for a duel.
Asking for a duel. You are not worthy of your wife, of your fiance, sir.
Yeah.
Exactly, and actually the cover shows a duel, so it works. Talk, I say talk. We're not going to nap, Aaron and Elle, all right? Okay?
I vote
Nap.
also for
Okay, so it looks like we're going to talk. All right. You nap into his arms. You talk to Harris for a few minutes, trying to steer the conversation to topics such as what Harris does with his time, but the task is made quite difficult by Miss Dunlop's affectionate presence. God, get a room, people. Pick a number and add your communication bonus. Okay, so, unfortunately, as we know, Abigail Esterhazy Smith, not so good on the communication deal. So we're going to roll 2 dice, but this time we're subtracting 2 from it. Because I like to think that she's just kind of like, hey, what do you do with your time? What do you do with your time? Get off his arm. What do you do with your time? Like, I imagine that's what she's actually doing. Or maybe she does ask him for a duel. Like... Yeah, so can I get a roll, please, JLC? One plus 2 minus whatever. So a 1. Mr. Harris, I duel you, sir. Okay, sounds good. We'll see you in a bit, Phoenix. I demand your duel. Okay. It actually doesn't say what you get with a 2, with a 1. It's like 3 minus 2 is 1, so I don't even know. It's not even on this thing. I imagine it's like we get to make our own choice. No. You learn very little from your conversation with Harris. He turns the talk back to the events of the weekend, mentioning with special relish the shooting contest scheduled for the morrow. You had best take cover when Robert is shooting, Miss Dunlop adds. The safest place for all is behind the target, she jests. As he frowns at her sally, she drags him off to the serving table, heavily laden with cakes and sandwiches. All right, so he's a terrible shot. As you turn from the receding Harris and Miss Dunlop, the Colonel rejoins you. He leads and introduces you to Dr. Cunningham, a gossipy old man who ties up Watson with professional talk for several long minutes. Breaking loose from Dr. Cunningham, you meet Lieutenant John Mortimer, his sister Susan, and a fellow named Robert Sneed. The Mortimer siblings are tall, with dark brown hair and vivid eyes. While Miss Mortimer seems as lively as Miss Dunlop, her brother is much more serious. Sneed is a bit of a puzzle to you, even after you are told that he is to marry Miss Mortimer shortly. A man of medium height, indeed he is not much taller than his fiancée, with straight black hair, Sneed seems a friendly, rather simple fellow, and his accent tells you he is a Canadian! We've got a Canadian, chat! Where's my Canadians at? Shadowed, we've got a Canadian. A Canadian NPC. To you, he appears to be a fish out of water. Why is he here? Do we wish to ask Sneed, what's this all about? Do we wish to ask, and Red Lear, I forgot, and Red Lear's here, of course, Red Lear, Canadians. See, Red Lear shows up, Shadowed shows up, and I'm immediately like, look, have a Canadian. So, will we ask Sneed why he's here or not? And you can just tell me this in chat. What's up, Dragonspear?
Like, first of all, we should ask him, like, why on earth his name is Sneed?
First, explain your name. They are billions, more like they are Canadians. Yeah, exactly. Yes, be rude. Ask him, what are you doing here? All right. It's a Canadian. He won't get offended. You search your mind for the proper question, then say, it's a pleasure to meet a loyal Canadian, Mr. Sneed. Ah, 1890. Loyal Canadian. Your thoughts, Canadians. Are you happy to be considered loyal to the crown? Loyal Canadians. It's a pleasure to meet a loyal Canadian, Mr. Sneed, but it must be a strange path that led you here today. He looks a little surprised, then smiles. Aye, I've been very lucky, friend, eh? He laughs, covering a mouthful of ugly teeth. Oh my god, ugly teeth. I came across on business, eh? With letters of introduction to the Colonel. It so happens that my great-grandfather served in the Yorkshire Lights at Waterloo, eh? And the Colonel insisted that I come to the reunion to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the battle. And by even greater good fortune, he introduced me to Susan, who's decided to marry me and to return to my home in Canada, eh? Sneed playfully raises a toast to his Take off, his head. I was waiting for an actual Canadian to be like, what the hell accent are you doing?
Like, I don't, like, English isn't even my first language. I was like, what the hell is this?
it's my very, very exaggerated version. Not enough A's, yeah. And by even greater good fortune... Okay, right. Sneed playfully raises a toast to his fiancée, who smiles in return. In just 2 weeks, we shall be married, and in 3 weeks, our ship sails from my homeland, eh? Oh my gosh, Dragonspear, subscribing with Twitch Prime, eh? What's this all about? I want to thank you for subscribing, give you some maple syrup, and ask you to watch a hockey game, eh? I'm so sorry that I've said all of that just now. Thank you so much, Dragon. The 2 years. Wow. The 2 years sub. That's amazing. It's wild to think that the channel has been able to actually have subs for that long. Thank you so much, Dragon. And when Kilobyte gets in here, we can give him a hard time about being Canadian and a sub as well. The delighted bridegroom-to-be winks playfully at Miss Mortimer, who blushes and lowers her head. Will we ask further questions of Sneed or not? Should we ask more questions of Sneed? Like, for example, what brand of maple syrup is the best? What does he see as the future of Toronto Maple Leafs hockey?
Something tells me that he is going to be the guy who steals the eagle.
You think so?
Yeah, because, you know, I don't like him.
Well, maybe it's going to be his fiancée because she's so, she doesn't want to be with him. And so she just, like basically sets him up and, like, frames him to make it seem like he stole it.
Oh, and then we run off with her.
Yeah, well, but do we want Miss Mortimer? She's the... I don't know anything about Miss Mortimer.
No, he is...
It's the other... This is another fiancé.
Oh, God,
this is the ugly Canadian fiancé. Yeah, exactly. Is Kwame Staling or leaving Toronto? Exactly. All right, so Dragon says, so are we going to ask or not, folks? Are we going to ask or not? So far, I have one ask from Dragonspear. Chat, you can let me know just in chat. Are we going to ask or not? Will we ask Sneed some more questions? Tell us what we want to know. Here, that's the one. All right, JLC says we should ask. Yeah, I got to reposition that a little bit in the window. Just give me 1 second while I capture more.
So
of
who
the
is
window.
he engaged to? I didn't follow.
So he's engaged to Mrs. Mortimer.
Is that the one who was like, hey, he has terrible aim, or?
No, that's the other one. That's the one that you wanted to ship.
It's confusing.
Yeah, that was the one that
I'd
you
be
actually
a terrible
wanted.
detective, just saying.
That was the one that you wanted to ship. Just a second. Okay. Now Terry's artwork can be enjoyed in its proper glory. Okay. What brand of maple syrup is best? Who buys brands? You buy artisanal stuff from like farmers markets. Oh man, what is up, Polar? How you doing, Polar? Good to see you, man. Good to see Caro, everybody. Welcome to our wonderful game book illustration stream with TariToons, and also welcome to 3.5 days left in the Icarus Jellic Kickstarter. Please, please, please pledge and spread the word. We need everybody to jump on board. We do have a chance. I've heard from high sources that we have a good shot, but we need to keep pushing. So we're trying to get to 8750 today if we can. Not just in this stream, but also after my stream coming up in the afternoon. When we get to 8200, Shadowed Mage is going to give away a free custom overlay for a Twitch streamer, or a custom D&D magic item, or a magic item from a role-playing system of your choice, if you are not a Twitch streamer and don't want the overlay. So that is because he is super awesome and generous. So please jump on board and spread the word. ! Icarus will let us find out.
What do I have to do to get a real life bag of holding then?
True.
Is that included?
Well, listen, I'll try to make one the best I can if we can actually get funded. We'll see what we can do.
No, it just like sounds like the way you phrase it, like that it's like actual magical item, like a tangible thing, not like.
No, he's going to make you an actual. No, I mean he's going to make you an actual magical item. He's Canadian.
Wait.
He's capable of doing that. So you know.
No. Are all Canadians magical?
Yeah,
That's
I think so.
I haven't heard of yet.
Ask Canadians. Red Lear, Shadow Mage, are you not magical people? I mean, look, they're friendly. They have a nice country with actual healthcare. They have a leader they don't have to be incredibly embarrassed by, even if you don't agree with him. At least he's not an embarrassment. They have maple syrup. They like sports. They have a good sense of humor. What is not to like? I mean,
sports.
That's all magical. Look, if some dude who's really ugly like Sneed can get some woman because he's Canadian, I mean, like, that shows you all you need to know, right? Okay, so it looks like we are going to ask. I'm a wizard, Gary.
So, like, are Canadians, like the Latinos of the North, getting all the ladies?
Wow, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't...
I mean, that's a stereotype here that, like, the most, I guess, like, successful at seducing women
are in Germany? Or really?
Well, I mean, like, for Europe, I guess.
I did not know that. Well,
Really?
I mean, you'd have to ask. I mean, so I don't know. Are Canadians particularly seductive? I feel like this is getting into an area that's very dangerous for midday Twitch. I just want to be clear about that.
I don't think anybody is going to be insulted over being told that they are good at seducing people.
Red Lear's like definitely describing me. It's got to be the sunglasses, right? It's got to be the sunglasses. I'm assuming the sunglasses are what make that happen. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. As you chat with Robert Sneed and Miss Mortimer, you try to consider just what to ask him. What question would be most provocative yet not too forward? Will you ask when and why he first came to England or not? Will you ask him charismatic? Yes. Seductive? Questionable. The giraffe suit gets them every time. And the mating call, right? Woo! Okay, so are you going to ask chat whether, when, and why he first came to England or not? Provocative. Are you wearing boxers or briefs? Shades do it. Girls love to be always right. Canadians are always apologizing. The secret revealed. I see. Interesting. All right. So JLC says we should ask why he came to England. I love that we're doing this. The reason, of course, that Terry's bringing this up is because she's doing this as she's finishing up her, in quotes, seductive Abigail Esterhazy Smith.
We're getting steamy today in this year live stream.
I can see the steam, the fog in the magnifying glass. It's really... okay, so are we asking why he first came to England? JLC says yes. Does the rest of chat agree? We're going to ask why Mr. Sneed first came to England. Should we ask him... Yeah, Sherlock Holmes would already know why he came. Should we ask him why exactly Canadians are so seductive? Okay, Aridinel says yes, ask.
What is the secret of the Canadians?
Yeah, what is the mating call that exists? Thank you very much, honey. Oh yeah. Look at this chat. We got bacon. Let me see.
Oh,
Bacon.
I want bacon.
And waffles with blueberries.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Give me just a second, chat. Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith has to eat some waffles with blueberries.
Sad. Why would you do that? Or evil.
Solid
evil.
bacon.
Evil.
Well, fear not, because I've got the raisins ready to go.
Okay, good.
Why are Canadians so seductive? The answer will shock you. Clickbait. That is funny. You finally got your crab, JLC? Well, that was nice of your husband not to eat all of it. See? That's how you know you're the right person. Okay. So we are going to ask. For how long have you been in England? You ask Sneed. Well, for about 2 months or thereabouts, eh? He replies, nibbling a sandwich. I'm in the shipping business in Canada, eh? And I'm here to make some credit arrangements which can only be made in person. I had intended to stay for only a few weeks, but other matters lengthened the visit, eh? Wee-oo! He says, smiling at Susan Mortimer, who laughs gaily with him. If you ask him... Oh, man. Will you ask him more about his business, chat? This is the part that the Sherlock Holmes game's supposed to get into.
About his business?
His business. So, how do you get into your business, if you know what I'm saying? Are we going to ask more, chat? Strawberries in bloom. You have a trail that goes 1/4 mile. 10 years ago, you had strawberries in a planter. The planter got wrecked. The plant spread out. Now it's a carpet of strawberries. That seems delicious. Carpet of strawberries is what I'm talking about. All right, so it sounds like Big Boss wants to continue this conversation. The rest of you agree? Keep him talking?
All the Canadian secrets.
It is, but it's mostly gone, and yes, continue. The investigation has changed. We are pursuing the limits of a Canadian's patience. What does it take to make a Canadian snap? Okay. All of a sudden his A disappears. He's just like, shut up. Okay.
Maybe talking about ice hockey or something. I don't know.
Exactly. He's just like, I'm going to check you in the next week. Penalty box this. All right. What? Okay. Get ready for the first question. I'm going to ask Terry this. Terry, what would be the first, after all of our discussion today, asking him more about his business, what would be the first question? Put together what we've been talking about today, the first question that it tells us.
The maple syrup thing? I don't know.
And I quote, what do you ship? You ask Sneed.
Oh.
What do you ship?
I get it.
Aha. Oh, I ship questionable romances.
Only a little bit silly on the stream.
Exactly. What do you ship? You ask Sneed. I ship questionable romances. Oh, various items, eh? He answers evasively. Shipping's the art of getting things from where they are to where they're needed. In a rough country like Canada, eh, you must use every means at your disposal. I really cannot say much more, he adds obliquely. I wouldn't want my plans to become public knowledge, eh? You glance at Watson, who has joined you, and see the same question in his eyes. Could the mysterious Mr. Sneed's shipping business be merely a euphemism for smuggling? Regardless, it would be useless to inquire further at this time. You continue to talk politely with Sneed, politely spelled here Polietly, just to show you that, no, it is not true that all of a sudden quality of books collapsed in the 2000s. There have always been occasional typos. With Sneed about upcoming events at the Towers, and wonder how he managed to become engaged to Miss Mortimer so quickly. She seems to come from the sort of stuffy, conservative family that would object to her marrying a man she's known for only a few months. Will you ask him about his romance? Or not? Do we ask about the romance?
Yes, absolutely.
What do we say? You want to know more?
I'd like to know more details. Does that Canadian accent go all the way up, if you know what I'm saying?
What? I don't know what you're saying.
Nope. Nor do I.
I'm also like kind of afraid of knowing, so.
Yeah, actually don't answer that question. Sure. We demand satisfaction, sorry, eh?
So
Sure.
look at our seductive Abigail here.
That is, yeah. So I love the idea that this is how she's doing this conversation. She's like, so, Mr.
It's
Sneed.
like mumbling.
Exactly. Oh,
Oh, she sounds like one of the adults from the Peanuts.
yeah. Okay, ask him. Bromance, it's real. I love that one. Are you going to do the eagle? The awesome eagle? Like the actual eagle statue?
Oh yes, true. The statue. I had already forgotten that.
Yeah, the one where he's like the expression on the.
So can you give me the description of the statue?
Yes, I can absolutely do that. And give me just a second. And it looks like we are going to ask him about his romance. So the description is as follows. The golden eagle is perched like a gift from the gods 15 feet above the floor. For a moment your eyes are riveted on the treasure. Bright gold worked beautifully and highlighted by many gems. And in case anyone is curious, this was the incredibly deluxe version. Oh yeah.
So like, is this just like a wall decoration or?
No, it's if you look on the stream, you can see that it's actually like a little statuette.
Okay.
Actually, not so little. You see in the.
It's like for some more that they want or something.
Yeah, that's right. It was basically like a trophy almost.
It's like, hey, we won this war. Let's build ourselves a trophy for it.
Yeah, let's get some gold.
Yeah.
Oh, we went from
That's
Arcana to
how
Pose of
shows
Eternity.
were born.
Yeah, no, I like Pose of Eternity, but this doesn't fit. Let's go with.
Oh yeah, the music stuff.
I really wish I could get away with doing the Game of Shadows OST, but sadly I cannot. So.
What do?
I'm looking right now to see. All right, here we go. We're going to go to... Stop showing me the movie. Don't want more of the movie. I love the movies, but that's not what we're doing now. All right, I'm going to do the Sherlock Holmes Games OST. If you do a search in YouTube, you find that.
Let's see. Like, the playlist by Carriot Eager Hobden.
I think it was, yes, Carriot Eager Hobden. Yep, that's right. Yes, indeed. Okay. Here we go. Back to what we were doing. Okay, so we're going to ask him about his romance because there is no topic we can't be offensive about. You've only been with us for 2 months, you ask in a surprised tone. Well, there must be truth to descriptions of the energy of the colonists. You've not only carried out your business, you will carry away one of our fairest ladies. Hey. You bow slightly to Miss Mortimer. How did you manage such a conquest so quickly? Oh boy, pick a number and add your communication bonus. So she does the whole like, how to do it, right? All right, so we need to roll 2 dice JLC. The ladies. -2. Four plus 1 -2, so we got another 1. Oh no, got a 3, sorry. Yeah. Sneed's handsome face darkens at the question, and Miss Mortimer looks slightly shocked. Watson coughs into his fist, perhaps signaling that you've gone too far. I like Watson being like, type of thing. Ours may seem a backward country to you, madam, eh? Sneed says in a hard voice. But we have the dignity to avoid casually discussing personal matters with every chance acquaintance. I'm sorry I said that. And then to your relief, he turns away. He doesn't say the sorry part. So, we pissed him off. That was good work. Good work. As the Mortimers and Sneed turn away from you, you seek out the Colonel. He is standing with a plump, red-faced man of 30 years drinking brandy rather than tea. Yeah, exactly, Thorazin. The Colonel presents him as Mr. Hunter Fox, 2 X's, son of a former commander of the Yorkshire Lights. So, you've met our Canadian ally, Fox says in a nasty tone of voice. It's well for us that our friend Sneed is here for only 3 weeks more, or England might become a colony of Canada. The Colonel attempts to cover this remark with a joke, but it fails miserably. The Colonel adds, Oh, no, Hunter, he only took what you lost already. Take it like a man. Oh, wow. Their comments are something of a mystery to you. Will we ask about their comments or not? Oh, man. We definitely want to make this so we piss off everyone. Maybe we're the ones who steal it.
Ooh, yes.
We could use the extra coin.
How to make sure that Holmes Senpai notices I'll just become a criminal?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Smooth criminal. Dun, 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 dun. So are we going to ask about their comments or not, chat? The more knowledge, the better. I say ice the convo. All right. Here we go. What do you mean about Mr. Sneed, you ask Mr. Fox. He seems a pleasant fellow. Oh, absolutely wonderful, Fox asks sarcastically, then adding, he's quick to seize opportunities, sometimes before they're available. You perhaps do not know that Miss Mortimer was once my fiancée. We'd separated temporarily over a simple misunderstanding, and before I could take steps to rectify matters, that Canadian sharp had slipped into my slippers and robes, so to speak. Oh, damn. The girl is free to choose her destiny, Hunter. The Middle Ages have ended. What? The Colonel comments. Don't blame Sneed because you were fool enough to let her go. Perhaps, Fox snaps, but I do not refuse to take my position in the duel, Colonel. You took that from me. Oh, now, Hunter, the Colonel says, trying to mollify the angry fellow. Yeah, it is getting loud. Let me turn that down. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Sorry about that. That was our playlist. I had to adjust the volume. Welcome, Marinda. Good to see you. Yeah, we're having some fun with these Sherlock Holmes stuff, as we are also continuing to push the Kickstarter. Please, everyone, double check the Kickstarter, ! Icarus. We have 3.5 days left, and we definitely need everyone's help to keep pushing. We're trying to get to 8,200 today. We're trying to get to 8,750 overall today by the end of the evening, because that will kick in a bunch of these algorithms, because at that point we'll be 65% funded, and that will really help. So please spread the word and consider pledging yourself, and thank you all so much for being awesome. Now, Hunter, the Colonel says, trying to mollify the angry fellow. I'll explain that to you. What? You can be one of the duelists every other year for the next 50 if you so desire. This is Sneed's only opportunity, and it's particularly appropriate on the 75th anniversary of the original duel. I have agreed to allow you the honor of loading the pistols on Friday. Considering the tradition governing the recreation, that action may be a more important task than firing a gun. Fox growls something barely audible but does not argue openly with the Colonel. Pick a number and add your intuition bonus. So our intuition is our best thing, so we've got +2 here. So please roll 2 dice for me, JLC, and let's add a couple. 9 and 11, so we got an 11. All right, that's more like it. Excusing yourself to refill your teacup and to take another biscuit, you reflect upon the conflicts already apparent. It is clear to you that Fox still loves Miss Mortimer and that he regrets the ending of their engagement. He is obviously jealous of Sneed. You wonder if Fox might try to hurt or humiliate the Canadian over the course of the weekend. Check deduction 2. So, Sneed is a problem. Oh no, we've been doing it since before you got here, Miranda. 2 6-sided dice. 2 6-sided dice is what JLC has been ruling it for us. Wants you to be a doula? Yeah, that's exactly what he wants.
You didn't allow me to be a doula. Oh, the Middle Ages are over, man.
I can see it. Okay, so let's move on ahead. Oh, I see. No, that's fine. Sorry, Miranda. That's cool. I get it. Terry, Big Boss says that's almost like a phoenix.
Oh, so it is, yeah.
Indeed. My favorite mythological bird. You are relieved.
Because there are so many to choose from.
Mm-hmm. I know, well, you know. Or it could be like that, or a crow. Or you are
Because
relieved.
also exists in mythology.
That's true. Yes, that's true. Well, no, that's not true. Griffins, hippogriffs,
Those are just half bird.
gargoyles. What?
Gargoyles are birds? What?
I said mythological creatures, not necessarily birds. Mythological creatures.
You said mythological birds.
Did I? I guess. Well, all right.
Yeah,
How about
you-
mythological flying creatures like dragons? I already mentioned hippogriffs and griffins, manticores. These are all flying creatures. Cockatrices, mythological bird.
Chicken.
And there's rocks. That's right, rocks. Chocobos. Yeah, I do like chocobos. Okay. You are relieved when the colonel tells Fox that he must introduce you to the other guests. The remaining 2 guests stand talking in a corner. The taller man is obviously an officer or ex-officer, a stiff, disciplined-looking man of 35 or so. The other man is short and slender, with a lined face and thinning hair. Dunlop introduces the tall fellow as Lieutenant Jackson, as the other as Thomas Grayson, a solicitor from York. As you chat with them, you wonder why the solicitor is here. He appears to be no more than a casual acquaintance of the colonel. "My, we are a mixed group," you say, laughing nervously. "I feel less out of place than I did at first. But what brings you here, Mr. Grayson?" you ask.
Thomas is my guest, Lieutenant Jackson interjects, puffing out his chest. He was kind enough to make a special trip to my place at South Riding Monday in order to bring me several important, that's right, I spelled it important, papers. He then was forced to stay over in order to review them with me. Naturally, when Colonel Dunlop came by my home Tuesday afternoon, he insisted that Thomas join us for the weekend. They've known each other for many years. As the conversation turns to other topics, you consider the lieutenant's comments for a moment. Pick a moment, any moment. Pick a number and add your intuition bonus. So again, this is our best skill, our intuition. Let us see where it leads us to. So pick a number, and let's get that intuition bonus going on. And the go to Mordor Eagles, yes. I mean, I guess if you count Great Eagles as being that, then maybe. 3 + 2 + 2. Wow, well, we needed that intuition bonus, but that's enough. That gets us to 7. So, good call. As you think over the story, you feel sure that Grayson arranged to be invited to Eagle Towers for the weekend. You wonder if he had any motive beyond enjoying a luxurious stay. Check deduction 3. All right, we got 3 deductions so far, people. Cooking with gas. Almost like the Icarus Kickstarter! Icarus. Okay. You continue to talk to Jackson and Grayson, and after covering the shooting match, Grayson turns his eye to the eagle. "Have you ever seen the like?" he asks you. "Oh, no," you reply. "What a magnificent work of art. It's a shame that it is locked away so much of the time." It is a necessary precaution, says Grayson. Aside from the value of the eagle as a treasure and a work of art, the gold and jewels by themselves are worth more than 10,000 pounds.
I helped the colonel arrange to insure it. 10,000 pounds. That's like $10 million, chat. That's a lot. Okay. Gradually, the tea breaks up and the other guests drift out of the library. Oh, true. Odin's two rainbows. Good point. As Beach the butler supervises the other servants tidying the room, the colonel beckons to you.
You've never visited Eagle Towers before, he says genially. Would you like me to show you around? What?
Naturally, you accept the offer, and the colonel leads you through the side portal into the drawing room. After you compliment him on his collection of portraits and wood carvings, he leads you out another door and into a gun room. All right, get ready, chat. Get ready. I'm not sure that Terry's going to be able to keep drawing when she sees her competition, presented by this drawing of the gun room.
Let me see.
I mean, wow. You've got guns there, and
Guns.
yeah, and guns, and it's a. I mean, that must have taken at least 2 minutes to draw.
And guns and drums.
Here, observe it up close. Can Terry even try? I don't know. It'll be tough. But the gun room is a long, narrow room running along the back of the house. Many old weapons ranging from medieval longbows to Brown Bess muskets line the inside walls, lit by 3 windows in the back wall. Racks of rifles and shotguns fill the wall between the windows. A glass-fronted cupboard stands at the far end. It contains several pistols surrounding a pair of dueling pistols in a walnut case lined with green velvet. As the colonel talks of the history of many of the weapons, you glance around the room. Pick a number and add your observation bonus. So here again, we've got our other best skill is observation. So please roll 2 dice. The Matrix Alpha, I need guns.
So, if the room doesn't have just guns in it, why didn't they just call it the armory instead of a gun room?
It looks like it's mostly guns, though. Well, I guess you're right, the medieval longbows. Because they're obsessed with guns, like America today, perhaps. That's a good question, I don't know. It was a weird time. Exactly. It was a strange time. 6 plus 4 plus 2, 12. Nice rolls so far, JLC. I don't want to jinx it and say any more, but good work here. All right. 359. As the colonel rambles on, you notice a door in the inner wall, an entrance almost hidden by 2 huge battle flags. Where does that little door lead? You ask the colonel, interrupting his lecture.
Oh, that,
He says in an offhand way.
You need not worry about that. It leads into the library, but it's locked from the other side and bolted top and bottom. What? A thief might be able to use it to escape from the library, but he would have to be a very skillful villain to enter the library by this route.
Thank you, you answer, glancing around for any other significant exits. The colonel launches into the story of the standards, which almost hide the small portal. Check clue B. 10,000 in 1805 adjusted. No, it's 1890 though. 10,000 pounds in 1890. A value of 203,000. And remember, we're talking pounds too. So you'd have to do pounds back in 1890. 10,000 in 1805 would be even crazier. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got clues B. I think that this is a good spot for a save point here. Okay, and let me put in our save point, our first save point. Save points. 359. Good. If only you could Google things back in 1805, I'd be so rich, right? Okay, 487. How many shillings make a pound? I don't remember. What's up, Elias? Also, good to see you. I don't remember. I don't remember. Okay, Colonel Dunlop concludes his discussion of the weapons, then points to a door in the back wall.
That door leads to the terrace outside. What? He explains. But it should not be a concern to you. It is both locked and barred at night.
You nod in understanding that the colonel is an idiot. No. You nod in understanding and make way for the colonel as he leads you back to the library. It's 20 shillings to the pound. So that means 10,000 pounds would be, let's see, 100 would be, so it'd be 2,000. So it'd be 20,000, no, 100 would be 2,000, right? 100 would be, no, 10 would be, okay, so 10 pounds would be 200 shillings. 100 pounds would be 2,000 shillings. 1,000 pounds would be 20,000 shillings. 100 pounds is 200 shillings, 24. Okay, so 1 mil. Yeah, see? I wasn't that far off. That would be 1,200,000. Wait. Yeah, 1,274,343 pounds in 2019. And that is $500 million in US dollars. So that's clearly what we're talking about. Okay, so you nod an understanding and make way for the colonel as he leads you back to the library. I totally agree, Karahan. No one else is in the room.
I asked my niece to take everyone out to look at the horses. What? The colonel explains. I wanted to allow you to look over the security of this room without interruption.
You begin with the main entrances, noting that there is a sliding grate which closes each of the 2 archways. A padlock and chains secure them. Welcome back, Shadow. The high mantel over the fireplace forms a wide shelf, perfectly suited to display of a variety of artwork. The colonel mentions that he usually sets a bust of Wellington there, which is only removed when the eagle is brought out for the reunion. You then turn your attention to the eagle. The golden bird is mounted on a heavy wooden base, which has polished steel rings at each corner. Chains run from the back of the shelf through these rings on either side and are secured by padlocks at the front. Now we can pick a number and add our observation bonus. So again, this is going to be +2. We may not be able to convince anybody of anything, but we can definitely see and intuit things. So please, if you would, JLC, 2 6-sided dice, please. And let's add 2.
So what's your opinion of my interpretation of the eagle statue so far?
So far, I love it, and I love the fact that it's on top of this ball, this jeweled ball on top of it. I think the more, and I like what I'm beginning to see from the expression, because I think the expression is going to sell it. If it's kind of like,
well, it doesn't really have an expression. Like the idea is to go like kind of for like this, like an angular, minimalistic style kind of. So it's just going to be the eyes, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. I just like something about the haughtiness of the way his face is. I think is a big part of it. All right, guys, we just got a big tweet that I need people to help me out and retweet for just a minute here. So Margot Atwell, who is the head of the Kickstarter publishing division, just tweeted out a unique, original, like, oh, this is, the art in this is really gorgeous. You should check it out. Not a retweet. So that's really good because obviously she has a lot of followers. So I'm going to ask everyone, I'm going to get a sort of link to this right now. I'm going to put this in chat. If anyone has Twitter, if people could please retweet this, that would be really awesome. That's very kind of her. She said she was going to let everybody know about it once she heard about it, and so that's great. We've actually interviewed her before on Speculate, so. Okay, so please retweet that. That would be lovely.
But yeah, as far as that jeweled ball is concerned, I was just like figuring how does this thing keep balance, and I was like, how about I put a huge weight at the bottom? That should.
Oh, I see.
That problem.
And does it have like a little base that it sits on though? Thank you, Ardenel. Yeah, if anyone who has Twitter would be so kind as to do that, I would really appreciate it. Is there like a big base that it's set into?
I wasn't planning for it, but like the book described it.
Yeah, so I mean that's up to you. So it looks vaguely Roman, Nazi-esque somehow. Well, German.
It's an eagle.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
An eagle that you literally cannot escape that image.
Thank you very much, Caro.
That what is it called?
The sort of like the super
symbolism. That
the kind of arrogant look, the kind of like this, the haughty, like I am nose in the air, The nobility of it, the noble creature. And hold on, I'm just making sure that my son is not in deep trouble.
Oh? What did he do now?
No, he's actually instead, he's not doing anything. He's just literally singing out something, 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 but he's doing it to a beat. Da 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 da. I don't think he's actually calling for help in rhythm. That's impressive though. Okay. So, I'm sorry, JLC, if you rolled that, I missed it. Can you tell me, was that what this latest roll, which is the observation bonus? The latest one is 2 dice, and then we're going to add our +2. Thank you to all those who retweeted that. Thank you, thank you. We just got to keep spreading the word. Start spreading the news. Three plus 2 plus. Again, our intuition bonus saves us. Our observation bonus, saves us. Oh no, it doesn't quite. We needed an 8 and we got a 7. Ah, well. We can't get them all. We got a lot of them anyway. We got a lot of them. Okay, so 164. Okay. Casually, you glance around the library again, impressed by the number and variety of books on the shelves. Then something catches... Oh, it's not your fault, JLC. Then something catches your eye near the fireplace. Partially screened by a chair, there is a small hatch 2 feet square. Only a child could enter it easily, but you wonder where it might lead and why it was built there. What's that small hatch, you ask the colonel. Could someone use it?
Oh, no, it's not good for anything, he answers. It used to be a dumbwaiter, but it doesn't work any longer. My father rearranged the kitchen and blocked the hatch in the basement, and we also blocked up the opening upstairs. In addition to the fact that it leads nowhere, it doesn't work properly. When you work the ropes, it won't go down at all, and it stops halfway to the upper floor if you pull it up. If a thief somehow climbed into that thing, he'd be capturing himself for us.
He laughs heartily. Check clue C. All right, we got clues B, we got clue C. The colonel leads you back upstairs to your bedroom, pointing out who has the other rooms as he passes them. Then he shows you a door that must lead into the library gallery.
There's another way to get into the library, he explains, but I locked it from the other side and bolted it at the top and the bottom of the door. Only a professional burglar could force it open. We only expect amateur ones. Ha ha ha!
I'm kidding, he doesn't say that. He just says professional and that's all. All right, check clue E. So we've got B, C, and E. Alone in your room with Watson, you discuss what you have learned.
The library is certainly well protected, Watson comments. All the doors seem to be solidly secured, and even if a thief entered the library at night, he'd be forced to climb to that shelf and pick the locks. I doubt that any one of these gentlemen is up to it.
Perhaps, you answer thoughtfully, but how many of the men Mr. Holmes apprehended seemed to you to be criminals when you first met them? Mr. Holmes always says that the most skilled criminals often are ordinary, common-looking men. Would those locks stop a determined burglar?
Well, I doubt that you would get the chance to test them, Watson replies. As always, there's never any problem until there is.
A gong sounds to summon you to dinner and you return downstairs. Beach supervises the presentation of a multi-course dinner of fine food and wine. Finally, the women withdraw and leave you and the others to cigars, port, and brandy. So I guess we mean finally all the women but you withdraw and leave you and the others to cigars, port, and brandy. As all chat, a few options present themselves. Will we talk with Captain Leaf? Will we talk with Robert Harris? Or will we go outside to look around? So, according to ArvBot, will we... let's see. So should we talk to Captain... No, I just used one. Talk to Captain Leaf? Right, exactly, Airdenel. Well, not actually, they're not that close by, but I agree with you on the rest of it. I mean, talk to Robert Harris, or go outside to look around. All right, what's it going to be, chat? Should we talk to Captain Leaf, talk to Robert Harris, or go outside to look around? Yep, cigars and brandy. Cigars, brandy, waffles with blueberries and bacon. I think that's what they meant to say.
I'll choose waffles with the bacon.
I don't blame you.
Well, I never actually had a cigar or brandy, so... But...
I have had a sip of brandy, and it tastes as bad as every other alcoholic drink I ever tried. And as for cigars, no thanks. In honor of our note position, next drawing us with cigar and brandy and a smoking jacket.
What is a smoking jacket?
It's like a, it's often made of like velvet or something like that. It's this very fancy looking, kind of like a suit jacket, except it almost looks like a Bond villain might wear one of these, you know, like with a cigarette holder at the same time as well. Yeah, what's a metric buttload in Imperial? Yeah, exactly, Aerodinel is exactly a crap ton. That's an official measure. Some disagreement here. 4 people say we should go outside to look around. 3 people say we should talk to Robert Harris. Yeah, that's true. It is sort of like a robe as well, isn't it? So if you combined a suit with a dressing gown. Yeah, that's true, because a smoking jacket is sometimes a little bit longer than a normal suit jacket would be.
Okay.
All right, last call. A good whiskey tastes like mellow afternoon sunlight, so it's probably better than brandy. Wow. A good whiskey. Mellow afternoon sunlight. All right, sorry, just checking in here. When you started smoking, it was the cigars, and you changed to cigarettes, but you quit smoking altogether. I'm glad, JLC, I'm glad. We would like you to be with us a good long time, and quitting smoking will definitely help in that regard. Actually, the iconic wearer of that garment would be Holmes, right? Doesn't Holmes wear a smoking jacket quite a bit? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly, Big Boss. Okay. On we go. Yeah, I thought so. There we go. So it's a fancy velvet jacket, often red or some other color, used so you don't get ash on your pajamas while having a late night cigar. You know, like you do. No, that's good. I'm glad your taste changed then, JLC. Okay. So, going once, going twice. All right, we're going to go outside to look around. Oppressed by the heat of the house and anxious to see a little more of the beautifully landscaped grounds, you walk outside through the French windows and walk across the yard. You notice Harris and Miss Dunlop walking around toward the back of the house, so you turn towards the front. Oh, and he just put a link, Aerodinel put a link of smoking jacket in chat as well, Terry.
Oh, sweet.
Just outside the front door, you encounter Lieutenant Mortimer, who also seems to be enjoying the night air. You join him and wander about the grounds, chatting. You try to get him to comment about the events of the weekend and his sister's wedding. Pick a number and add your communication bonus. Here we go. Oh, yeah. This is what we're best at, communicating. I'm going to reduce my bit rate a little bit. 5 plus 1, that's 6 minus 2 is 4. Yeah, well, so far we've been super good at completely not at all managing to manage our communication properly, which could have been expected. All right, drop my bit rate down. Okay. So hopefully that will help a little bit. At least I hope it will. Okay. So that is definitely not going to get the job done. You and Mortimer talk quietly for a few minutes, then you turn the conversation to his sister's wedding. Yes, Sneed seems like a good enough fellow, Mortimer admits. Of course, no man is really good enough for my sister, but Sneed seems to suit her. I only wish there were more time before the wedding. I understand that Sneed must return to Canada soon, you offer. That's true, Mortimer replies thoughtfully. I wish they would stay in England, where she belongs, but the girl must be free to make her own choices. He sighs deeply. Strunkstert is grammar adding spellings. I know, exactly, Ardnell. Like, the entire group is pissed off at us, one way or the other. Your wanderings lead you into the woods near the house, where you follow Mortimer down a path into a pleasant grove of trees. You talk a little, but mostly enjoy the peaceful atmosphere of the quiet woods. Pick a number and add your observation bonus. Okay, now we're back on strong ground. So we have to pick a number and add our observation bonus. So let's get that number picked, please, JLC. There we go. That's an 11. Lovely. All right. As you walk among the trees, you suddenly hear a faint rustling noise in the brush. You touch Mortimer's arm and signal that he should stop and listen. Almost immediately he nods. He has heard the sound too. Okay. The two of you move very carefully through the woods, trying to carefully approach the site of the noise. As you come to a small clearing, the moon emerges from behind a large cloud. Across the clearing, a small man is bent down, doing something amid the bushes. "A poacher!" Mortimer cries in an outraged voice. The man leaps to his feet and runs into the woods. Nice job, Mortimer. Way to go. Genius. With a cry, Mortimer gives chase, you on his heels. Now, we're going to pick a number and add our athletics bonus, but first I need to show you yet another nail in the coffin of Terry's art supremacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dramatic moment. The poacher. Now, try not to get too amazed by it. Like, this is, you know, this is the level of artistic quality. Yeah, exactly. My eyes. That's right. Pretty impressive, right? I just, you know, I'm just saying. Okay. So let's roll that dice. So this was, I need to roll 2 dice. I need us to roll 1 plus 2, and our athletics is 1. So that's a 4. That is not going to get it done, I don't think. Leaping small bushes and ducking low limbs, you and Mortimer chase the little but quick man through the woods. Though the alleged poacher, spelled alleged poacher, passes among the trees like a will-o'-the-wisp, you draw closer to him. Mortimer is coming from another direction, and as the man hesitates, you dive for him. Your tackle knocks the legs out from under him. Yeah, I know, right? A shadow of some kind. I don't know. Your tackle knocks the legs out from under him, and he doesn't try to escape. So I want to point out that Lady Esterhazy Smith, in a dress, full out, right, dives and tackles him. That is so Lady Abigail. Oh, my God.
Yes.
That is 100% Lady Abigail. Also, we've just gone up to 8,080. So we are 133 backers, 8,080. Let us keep it going. We have $120 more, and we've got about 15 minutes. $120 more to hit 8,200. So at 8,200, we will get something awesome. At 8,200, we will get something amazing, which is, of course, Shadowed Mage providing a custom Switch overlay or a custom magic item, which he will make IRL for you.
Oh?
Totally. That's the way it's going to work. And so the suggestion was, Terry, we'll see. This is 15 minutes. I don't know that you'll have time, but maybe you could get started on that. That eagle, first of all, is awesome. But Chad is asking if you can do the tackle, the tackle drawing.
Oh, I can't do that in 15 minutes.
Probably not in 15.
Well, I mean, you can remind me next time for the next stream, for the starting.
We'll
drawing,
remember that. Yeah.
I never know what to do for the starting drawing, and just draw something random.
Yeah.
So just tell me next time.
Dig it. We will do that. Okay. Together, you and Mortimer drag him to the house to face the Colonel and explain what he was doing. Okay. So, Colonel Dunlop looks at the prisoner, then laughs.
You again, Badger, he says, clearly amused rather than upset. Can you not learn to leave my birds alone?
What are you going to do with him? Mortimer asks in menacing anticipation.
I cannot do anything tonight, Dunlop answers. Phillips, he continues, addressing the prisoner, come to my study Tuesday morning at 10. I will pass my judgment then.
As Badger Phillips leaves, you notice Dr. Watson going upstairs and follow him quickly. Wait, you're just going to let the guy leave? What? Come to my study. Oh, yeah, yes, Governor, I'll get right on that. Like, what? Anyway, you notice Dr. Watson going upstairs, and follow him quickly. Well, have you identified any potential thieves yet? Watson asks. He obviously has passed a very enjoyable evening. It is not a question of identifying every possible thief, you answer, but rather one of making it impossible for anyone to take the eagle. You cannot do anything more tonight, can you? Watson asks. It is late, cousin. Are you planning to wait until everyone has gone to bed and then check the security of the library? He laughs at the very idea, obviously intending it to be a joke, but you stop to consider the matter. Are the library's defenses as secure as the Colonel believes? Will you go to bed, or will you look over the library? What's it going to be? No holding cells, that was common practice. Wow. So what's it going to be? That's why Holmes was overworked, I'll bet. Going to bed or looking over the library, chat?
Take a nap. Always take the naps.
Look over the library, Ardinell. JLC says bed, because insanity. Talking about bed. Library. You must look at the library. I like that 80 number, and I can't wait to see it go higher. 8100, 8200. Well, library. Library. Yeah, library. Do some reading before bed. Yeah, see? Library Ginger Fantasy says, all right. So there we go. All right. I am a fan of sleeping. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I think Holmes would examine the library, you say, sighing a little, for you are tired. Watson looks unhappy but nods agreement. You sleep for 2 or 3 hours, arising again between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. The house is quiet. You lead Watson into the hall and move slowly towards the stairs. You first stop by the door in the hall that leads into the library gallery. It is locked. Will we try to pick the lock or not? Are we going to try to pick the lock or not, chat? Good music for this. Creeping through the halls. JLC says pick it. What good is a lock if you don't pick it? Exactly. Pick it, pick it, pick it. Pick it, pick it, pick it. Pick it, pick it, pick it. Okay. Pick it, everyone seems to be saying. Pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it. Okay. So, let us pick it. Or at least try. To do that, we will... Wondering how secure it is, you try to pick the lock to the door to the library. For a moment, you study the lock and try to remember everything you know about the art of lock picking. Pick a number and add your artifice bonus. It says add 4 if you have the skeleton keys, which we do not. Artifice is not so good for us. We have a -2 in artifice. So we're going to pick our number and try to add our artifice. So do the best you can, JLC. Let's get that highest roll we can possibly get. Let's go. And as a reminder, 3 plus 3 minus 2, that means a 4. Unfortunately, we would have had to have a crazy high roll to do it. Which may be good. Maybe that means it's really hard for the lock to get picked, is what that means. You work at the door for some time, trying to find a way to spring the lock. Watson watches you anxiously, but his concern is of no help. After 10 minutes of effort, yeah, exactly, you break the lock. On the upside, the door is now impassable. Watson watches you in and out. After 10 minutes of effort, you shrug your shoulders and turn away. No one can pick this lock, you whisper to Watson. I should wager my career upon it. Your cousin gives you a questioning look. Having seen the "there's nothing in this note" before. After completing your examination of the door, you and Watson sneak downstairs. An arched doorway leads from the hall into the library, but you can see that a gate bars the way, held shut by a chain and heavy padlock. You carefully test the gate and find that it is sound. Yeah, good thing we have no career, exactly. Shall I try to pick the lock, you wonder? At the drawing room entrance, you see that the gate is identical to the one leading from the hall. If one gate could be opened, then either could be. There is less chance of being seen if you test the drawing room entrance. Will you try to open the lock or not? So are we going to try to... Are we going to try to open this lock? Sorry, just listening again to make sure everything's okay. Are we going to try to open this lock or not, folks? Open the lock or not open it? So this is, again, another gate with a chain and heavy padlock. Try it, maybe we'll be lucky. And it looks like Aradinel is saying we should try it as well. Open it, open. Leave the poor lock alone. Warm up those dice. We need to get this one. Big Boss says no. All right. It looks like we are going to open it. So, you bend over the padlock and examine it. With the proper tools, you could probably open it easily, even though it's very heavy and impressive in appearance. Quickly, you start to work. Pick a number and add your artifice bonus. So again, we're going to need a top number here to do this. I mean, listen, maybe the thief is as bad as we are at talking to people and opening locks. I mean, that's not our bag, baby. Oh man, they have a thing at the bottom here. Iron Crown Enterprises is looking for a few good writers and 3 lines of solo adventures. Familiarity, here's the requirements. Familiarity with quest books and or role-playing games, ability to write well and meet deadlines, access to a computer, willingness to work as a team player. Respond with a self-addressed stamped envelope to Managing Gamebook Editor, Iron Crown Enterprises, P.O. Box 1605, Charlottesville, Virginia, 22902. That's definitely what we should have done if we were doing this back in 1988. Yes, I think that if it were not for the fact, I know that you posted this job advertisement 31 years ago, but I wondered if... What's up, Lucathea? Called Sherlock, sure, ignore locks. Exactly. So 8 minus 2, unfortunately, is going to be a 6. So that is not going to get it done either. Is that long last? Exactly. Oh, man. Okay. Lucathea with the resub. I don't actually see it popping up yet. I don't know why. But Lucathea with the resub. Thank you, Lucathea. 19 total months. Wow. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for all the resubs today and the follows and the retweets. Please, again, for those of you who don't know, we are pushing the Icarus Jelinek Kickstarter today, and please retweet that. That is Margot Atwell's, who's the head of publishing at Kickstarter, the publishing Kickstarter division. She was nice enough to retweet this. Not just retweet, I shouldn't say retweet it. She was nice enough to tweet this out. So please retweet that, and please pledge yourselves to this if you can. We really need to try to get this to 8750 or so by the end of the evening to give us a good shot of the algorithms kicking in. So please do that if you can, and definitely retweet this at the least, and thank you so much. Yeah, I know. I thought you had actually resubbed yesterday, Lucathea. That sounded right to me. So, okay. You apply all your skills to the heavy padlock, but cannot open it. All of our skills. The gate remains closed. You feel satisfied that no one can enter the library from this side. Yeah, sure we do. Sure we do. Outside the library, you stop to consider what further actions to take tonight. Are there other approaches to the library that you might examine? If you checked clue B, turn to 450, and we did check clue B. Only, by the way, programming note, we're going to go for another 3 or 4 minutes or so, and then we will stop because I have to get ready for the next stream. There is one more entrance to the library, the door from the gun room. From the Colonel's description, you know that it is secured in the same manner as is the well-protected upstairs door. You wonder if it is worth the time and risk to examine it. Will you go to the gun room or not? What are we going to do, chat? Are we going to go to the gun room to double check it? Guns, hell no. Check it. Different time period, though, Dragon. In fairness, different time period. Aranel says check it. Ginger says go. Dragon Spear says hell no. JLC says no, go to bed. So I've got 2 in favor, 2 against. Do we check the door? Or do we go to bed? We're tied up 2-2. We need other people to jump on board. Don't snoop. All right, so 2 checks, 3 no's. Beautiful Bear says check it. So we've got 3 and 3. Shadowed says no. 3 and 4. So we've got 3 and 4. Go to bed. Tiredness is making Holmes mess up. Well, it's not Holmes. It's us. It's Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith. 3 and 5. TNS says check him. 4 and 5. Lucathea says Snoop Lock Holmes. 5 and 5. It's 5-5. We're a higher detective. Don't snoop. Exactly. It's tied 5-5, people. It's tied 5-5. We are tied 5-5. We need someone to break this tie.
I'm done with my eagle.
I love the little sparkles around the end.
Thank
Like, yeah.
Literally just found out that this program can do this. So
That's super cool. I really like
I was
that.
looking for the gradient function. Instead I found sparkle. So I was like, yeah, this works.
That works. Okay, J-Rab with the tiebreaker. 6-5, we are going to check it. And this, I think, will be our last check of the evening. Although examining the gunroom seems a waste of time, your conscience forces you to check every entrance to the library. You signal Watson to follow you toward the gunroom. You stop for a moment outside the door. It's a gleagle. Was that you stop for a moment outside the door. Was that a noise inside the gunroom or merely a figment of your overactive imagination? You signal Watson to stop, then open the door as quietly as possible. A person stands at the far end of the room, examining something with the aid of a bullseye lantern. Oh man, do you speak to the stranger or sneak up on him? This will be the last choice, chat. Do we speak to the stranger or sneak up on him? Speak or sneak?
Sneak?
Speak or sneak? TNS says sneak. JLC says speak. Aridinel says sneak. Dragonspear says stealth kill from behind. Sneaky, sneak, sneak, speak. Right now, sneak is beating speak. Speak. You might have a heart attack. Speak. Sneak. Tackling seems to be our strong suit. Talking, not so much. This is a good point. All right. Last call. TariToons says steak, that's not... You know what, Terry? Just for that, I'm going to have a bite of my bacon.
Oh!
I'm with Terry. Okay. Sneak it is. Let's see what happens. Our last roll. Moving as quietly as possible, you try to sneak up on the intruder. You wonder what would draw someone to the gunroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. Pick a number and add, oh god, your artifice bonus. All right, we're going to need a best roll we can get here. Let's put it together, JLC. You can do it. We need a great roll. Let's make it happen.
I'm so hungry. Like, I only remembered, like, I was, like, playing Pokemon before the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, then I was like, oh, I'm hungry. I need to go fetch something to eat. And then I put down my DS and checked the clock. And I'm like, oh, it's past 6.
That would explain why you're hungry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like, past 6 as in, oh, we might have a live stream today.
Yep, that's when you're like, I see that. As you try to sneak up on the intruder, you slip on a small rug. Well, damn it. Staggering for a moment, you wave your hand for balance and knock over a small table. The cloaked intruder jumps at the noise, then extinguishes the ladder and dives through an open window beside him. You hurry to the window and look out, but you see no one. And here you go, chat. The true art of a professional. The classic. There we go. All right, so we will find out the details of why that is important and what we have lost out on next month when we go back to this. But I think we had a very good start today, actually, to this adventure of ours. I think we did very, very well. And let us go through it. Now you're stuck with sneaking for 4 years, exactly. Bad luck. All right, let us go through the wonderful drawings that we had today from TariToons.
Oh. Okay. Right, so this was the first one.
This is the first one. We begin with this, the sort of like, what is this seersucker hat? I love it. It's awesome. It was cool. And then we have the seductive, in quotes, the super seductive Lady Abigail Esterhazy Smith. I don't know how you could resist that. I mean, really, it's good stuff.
Absolutely. Just 3 drawings today.
Three drawings today. But that eagle was legit. I mean, like, that's a legit eagle. So look, chat. Would you prefer that eagle, or would you prefer? Wait a second. Let me find it. You know, it's in the book somewhere. Sure. There we go. Do we want that eagle, or this eagle? You decide, chat. Focus, damn you, camera. It's the famous jewel-breasted eagle. There's your choice. You can get this badly focused one because it refuses to focus. This thing absolutely refuses to focus.
Comments. Thank you, guys.
Terry greater than official. Eagle or malformed Quasimodo owl? Exactly. Are we sending the bad one to Donald? Of course, that's the one that he would think is better because that sort of fits. Anyway, this was awesome as per usual. We need to wrap up because I need to get ready for my GOG stream at the top of the hour. Terry, this was wonderful as always, and it was a lot of fun. I always enjoy doing these with you, and we will have another one next month. Where can the fine folks find you?
On the social medias, I guess. So like Twitter, Instagram, those places. Name it TariToons on like all the things. And aside from that, I assume next Tuesday here for Lord of the Rings.
Yes, for Adventures of Middle-earth, which will definitely be happening next week. We will have hopefully a full crew, but at worst we'll have 3. And then the week after we'll be playing again, and we will have our full crew. So we should be good to go for all of it. No, I'm sorry, not next week. I mean, not 2 weeks from now, just next week, I believe, is when we're having it. So we should be good to go. This was awesome. Thank you very much, Terry. Always a pleasure. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing TariToons? Oh, no, actually, Terry, they will also see you on Friday for a little bit of the streamathon.
Oh, that's right. I'm there on Friday. Yes, I am.
Yes, Terry's going to be part of the streamathon, so you will get a chance to see her doing some awesomeness. So
I'm going to be there for the beginning of the stream because time zones are a thing, and like it starts at like 7 p.m. my time, so I'm probably going to be there until like 11 or 12 p.m. I don't know yet. Depends on how awake I can stay.
Depends on when you turn into a pumpkin. But I totally understand, and I'm really grateful to you helping out. So you will get a chance to see the streamathon. Yeah, get hyped. It's going to be awesome. Terry's going to be great. This will be the first ever time that both Terry and Pyron Jade are on the stream at the same time with each other. So that'll happen too. So it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Can we call it the Übernahme?
Sure. Do I say that? Am I committing myself to some terrible commitment internationally?
Oh, no, like Übernahme just means like take over in German. So
right. she's like, oh no, it just means take over. Listen, we're a little nervous about that. All right, we're just a little uncertain about those things. But no, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, Terry, so much, and I will catch you in a couple days.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. And there we go. Good stuff. All right. That was awesome. I always have a really, Terry's a good friend, and I really admire her talent. And she's just a nice person. So we also tend to find many of the same things funny. So it always kind of fits well. Oh my God, that's not what I meant to do. What I meant to do was actually put my face up there so you could actually see my face. That was what I was hoping to do, was to make my face visible. Like that, but not with that or with that, nor either with this. That's more like what I'm talking about. Cool. All right, and we have saved this up. I think I already saved this already, but let me just make sure. That is saved. I will exit from that. And we can now close down ArvBot as well. And that brings us out of that. Okay, cool. So this was a great stream today, folks. The official illustrations. No, I got. You know what? It actually is okay, Shadowed, because I'm not going to show necessarily all of them in this case. Frankly, I don't think they're that great. The illustrations, like Terry's, are just like joking aside, Terry's are so much better. But I got to rise up on out of here, and I've got to tell my webcam to not autofocus because that is obnoxious when it does that. So Please stop autofocusing. Thank you. But that is going to do it for me for this stream. But again, just as a reminder, I'm going to be at the top of the hour over at GOG. I'm going to be playing more Pathfinder Kingmaker. And then tonight, I've got a live stream on YouTube with Shane Stacks. That will be, he will be joining me for, he's going to be interviewing me about Icarus and Jelinek. And I want to talk about that briefly. So we hit 8,080. That was nice. We are only 17 backers away from getting a one-shot set in the Icarus Jelinek universe. But I need your guys' help for this. We have got the stream coming up on GOG, and then I've got that live stream. Then I've got Emberwind on Thursday night when I'm actually going to be flying back over back to the East Coast. But John Helfers and crew will be handling that, so that will just be on my channel. And then I've got the big streamathon on Friday. We really need to be able to make a push today and tomorrow to get us to the point where we have a legitimate shot of being funded. The Kickstarter thing, which I tweeted out, which was done by Margot Atwell, which I would like, if you haven't done so already, please tweet this out. Or retweet it, I should say. She is the head of the publishing division at Kickstarter, and she was nice enough to do her own separate tweet about this. And Kickstarter is also going to be talking more about it as well. That's good, and she feels optimistic that we have a good shot at doing this. But we've got to get to the level that's necessary so those final push can get us over the line. If we can get to 8750 tonight, that would be 65%. 65% is where all the algorithms kick in. That's when Kickstarter will start featuring us on the almost funded page, and that's when other things are going to happen. So to make all of that possible, to make all of it happen, we need to be able to push forward, and that means that we need you folks to jump on board with it. And the best sort of my suggestion that I would make to make that happen is that is if you're really able to help with is if you're able to help us with retweeting it and definitely pledging. If you've already pledged and you want to get a little bit higher up there with the sort of hardcover goals or whatever, you can do that. Just spread the word, let the people know, because we really need to be able to push this forward so that we can get that 65%. Then the 48-hour email will go up, I think it would be Wednesday night at 11. So tomorrow night at 11 p.m., if I'm not mistaken, is when that will go out. And then we'll have 48 hours plus that to kind of push us over the line and hopefully get us there. And I really think that the art is worth it. I'm proud of it. We worked hard on it, and I'm really, happy to do that. So I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream today. Thank you to everyone. Thank you especially to TariToons for her amazing drawings. You should all follow her on all the things. And you will see more of her on Friday. But I am going to close up shop now for the next 20 minutes or so as I get set up for the other stream on the other channel. Please check out the YouTube with !arvtube, the Discord with !arvcord. Please make sure to check out the YouTube. I think I said YouTube. Please make sure to check out the website with arvanelleron.com. Please check out the Patreon, !arvtreon right up there. Please check out the shop, !arvshop. Don't forget, of course, about the sub button. Several of you resubbed today, so thank you. I think we're sitting at about 67, 68 subs, something like that. But especially today, please make sure to support the Kickstarter, !Icarus or !Jelinek. And thank you all for being lovely people. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Aradinel, Dragonspear, J-Rab, and Shadowed Mage. Thank you all to my wonderful subs, Aradinel, Dragonspear, Ballstag, JLC, Carohem, Lucathea, Marinda, and Redlear. Thank you all so much to my viewers as well. Aestheer, Angel of Flight, Big Boss, Cash Bear, Chuffled, Commander Root, Curail, Ekag, Gigafrost, Gorgar, Jagdris, Ginger Fantasy, Mubat, I guess. Mr. Aradin, thank you to Mr. Mano, thank you to No Name Namer, Polizei, PKD Fan, Poltergeist Zero, thank you to Quapmo, Questionable Results, Tade, Thorazin, TNS Mephiston, thank you to Trendane, thank you to you, Christensen, thank you to Uncle Elias, thank you to V&K, thank you to Virgo Praz, thank you to Walter World Games. Kickstarter just tweeted us. That's pretty awesome. Okay, let me go check that out quickly before I close up shop, because that's pretty awesome. Okay, so that also needs to be retweeted. Super. Bring this to all of you. Okay, I'm going to retweet that, and I'm going to post that link in here. That's important. And actually, if one of my mods could do me a favor, because Kickstarter has 1.05 million followers. So if, yeah. Okay, you guys just put it up there? Okay, cool. Yeah, you got the same link. Please hold on to that link. Let's retweet that with GOG.com as well, and let's try to push that up as far as we can. That's awesome. That actually could really help a lot. So let's do that. I really appreciate Margot doing that and letting us know. So please retweet that. That's going to do it for me, though. I got to get out of here. I'll see all of you lovely people over on GOG in about 20 minutes. And until next time, thanks for being you. Be good to each other. Talk to you soon. Bye.
When Icky fell into the volcano, I was out digging for flame petals with Rig.
Hey everyone, my name is Gregory Wilson. I am the author of the book The Third Sign, of Greyshade, and the book Icarus. A few years ago, when I was finishing up the manuscript for Icarus, my daughter here was not yet born, and she was very much on my mind. We were in a very difficult time. We had just gotten out of war. We were dealing with a recession, and there was a lot on my mind about what the world was going to be like when my daughter finally arrived. Were we going to be a place that wanted to divide people as much as possible, or bring people together in compassion and community, as I hoped? And I wrote Icarus as a story to sort of talk a little bit about what that might look like if we did come together. Icarus is the story of a young man with wings who falls into the heart of a huge volcano and the creatures that he finds there, including a 4-foot-tall, flame-petal prospecting, red-skinned character known as Jelinek, kind of an Old West type. Together with his two-tailed, lava-resistant, dog-like creature, a solar called Rig, the three creatures try to make their way through Vol and discover a little bit about the mystery of why Icarus is down there in the first place. One of the big points of that book was to consider what would happen if these characters, who seem so different on the surface, can actually come together because of what they discover internally. Acela Fabio, the artist for both of these books, is incredibly talented and is very good in particular at gaining a real understanding of the emotional resonance of the piece. And one of the things that's been wonderful to see is him bringing to life what I imagined in my head in not just visual terms but emotional terms as they get rendered on the page. I hope if you have a chance to check out this Kickstarter, it will consider supporting it because of the work that he's done and because of the story that we're trying to tell together. Take a look at the pledge levels, take a look at the reward levels, and see what you can do to help support this project. I'm extremely proud of the story. I'm proud of the art that Acela has done, the wonderful script done by Keith DeCandido, and the lettering and layout done by Chris Suda. This team and myself hope that we've told a story for you that is going to resonate with you emotionally and stay with you long after you've closed the pages of this book. That's what I tried to do in writing the book. I hope it's what you'll be able to get from reading it as well. Thank you so much for supporting the project and spreading the word, and take care. I hope you'll like what we've put together.